Oh, wait, I don't have any coffee. My coffee's cold. 1 sec. Again, 1 sec, Sonny. What's with the 1 sec? 1 sec, man. Relax. We'll check this out. We'll check this out when this comes online. Do, and then I'll go get my coffee. Yeah, I could warm this up. There we go. This is coming online. Here we go. Are we coming online? Well, it's kind of the same thing, right? Maybe not. Oh, I can't change anything here. There we go. Check 1, 2. Coffee. My coffee's cool. All right, check 1, 2. I'm here. The sound is okay. Let's put this over here. Oh, and let's chill out. Oh, I'm slowly getting back to a schedule, but you know what? My schedule almost imploded yesterday. Yesterday, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do as we progress deeper, like as we finish up the year of the snake. I'm trying to figure out what to do. In addition to finishing the year of the snake, the sunny side, us, we're going through our node return, which means there's going to be a very serious change. When we went through our node opposition around 2016 or so, like 10 years ago, when we went around, when we had our node opposition, that's when I started the live streams. Before that, it was all videos. And so I was thinking of ending the live streams. I really was. However, because the live streams, kind of killed the channel now. Because the live streams killed the channel. YouTube started all this live stream shit, and then there's all this other stuff that was associated with all this live stream shit, and they didn't really support it, and it just damaged a whole bunch of channels, the TheSunnySide being one of them. But at the same time, I'm not an overly stressed out kind of guy. What the fuck is going on with this thing? Into the light, Sonny. Go into the light. Yeah, my light's all messed up. So, what card is this? Oh, 3 of Cups. Oh, celebration. Anyways, that's the deal. So, am I going to get back to my schedule? Probably not. I don't know. I'm doing this empathy thing. I guess we'll continue to do the horoscopes the same way we've been doing the horoscopes, meaning Saturday morning and for the weekly horoscopes. And then I'll chop it up like I did today. And I'll probably put the regular stuff on members but members gets all over the place. It starts to make your channel look garish. So I don't know. We'll sort it out. But as for now, everything is cool, man. With me, everything is cool. I'm taking it easy. I'm not stressing out. As part of that empathic awakening stuff, guys, I'm finding this quite fascinating, and I'm applying it to other stuff. You know what? While we're sitting here, most of you guys have gone to bed by now, I guess. Well, I'm vaping away and I'm chilling out for an hour. Let's close that up and let me share with you some of the stuff that we're going through. Tomorrow, I'm going to be busy tomorrow morning, but tomorrow we'll make videos about this stuff. So what's all this? Okay, listen to this. So as I was hanging out with ChatGPT, we were coming up with some other examples. Let's see. Let's go back a little bit here. So, this is yesterday. Okay, this is today. We want to go to this one. Oops. We want to go to this one. So initially, I started off with the 7 deadly sins. And I was like, hey, chat, because Daniela said desire, right? And so I was like, I wonder if that's one of the deadly sins and blah, blah, blah. And so I said to ChatGPT, Give me the 7 deadly sins and how it might correlate or relate to shadow, your shadow. And here's what we have here. We have pride. So the 7 deadly sins are pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. Now we have some other things we're going to look at in a sec. If I can see that it's here. One sec, because yeah, it's right here. We went on to for something else, but this is what we're doing right now, and I'll explain it to you. So here we go. Let's break it down. So pride, right? These are the 7 deadly sins and how they sort of show up in your shadow. And as a result, your shadow holds you back from accomplishing things in your life, whether the shadow means talking to the guy or talking to the girl or letting go of the guy or applying for the job or doing the thing. That's what your shadow causes problems, man. And remember, your shadow is learned behavior. So it's not a real thing, although you would think it is, but it's not. So here we go. The pride is the first deadly sin. And it says this is basically the sin of having an inflated sense of your own status or accomplishments. Okay, so the sin of pride. For example, someone who constantly brags about their achievements or refuses to admit mistakes might be showing pride. You guys got that? So the sin of pride, as it relates to your shadow, is it's the sin of having an inflated sense of your own status or accomplishments. Next, we have greed. And uh, greed, right? This one is all about an excessive desire for material things or wealth. So, greed is an excessive desire for material things or wealth, an excessive desire. An example might be hoarding money at the expense of others, or never being satisfied no matter how much you have. And that's the second deadly sin, which is greed. The third one we have is lust. And it says lust. This is an intense or uncontrolled craving, often for sexual pleasure. For example, someone who objectifies others or is never satisfied in relationships might be driven by lust. And remember, what we lust for in others is actually what we kind of lack in ourselves, right? We lust in others, our shadow. We fall in love with our shadow reflected back to us. So keep that in mind. So if you want someone to fall in love with you, you should reflect back their shadow. All right, next, for better or worse, right? Well, that's how it works. So whether you do it on purpose or you do it unintentionally, that other person is in love with themselves, reflected back. They're in love with the part of their shadow that you represent. Just say, envy. Number 4 is envy. This sin is about wanting what others have and feeling resentful about it. All right, sure, why not? For example, someone who feels bitter when a friend succeeds or can't be happy for others' good fortune is experiencing envy. All right, so envy is the sin about wanting what others have and feeling resentful about it. All right, next, gluttony. Gluttony is the overindulgence in food or drink. An example might be eating way more than you need just for the sake of it. All right, like pigging out, right? Gluttony. Or drinking excessively even when it causes harm. All right, ingesting and imbibing. There you go, man. Gluttony. 2 more to go. Next is wrath, the uncontrolled anger or hatred. For example, someone lashes out violently over small things or holds long term grudges that lead to revenge is dealing with wrath. You guys got that? Then sloth. And sloth is easy. Sloth is laziness, man. Failure to act when action is needed, right? Someone who avoids responsibility or neglects important tasks out of apathy might be showing sloth. Okay, here we go. Now, I guess we have half an hour, right? We have a couple of minutes here, and nobody's here anyway. So I guess I should just chug away at this. And I don't think I have anything that I have to do. All right. All right, let's keep going, Matt. Let's keep going. So there are a bunch of examples of this, but we want to go a little farther because so this was an interesting thing I did with ChatGPT. It was fun. And then I go on to examples, right? Examples of pride might be, well, then I dig a little deeper. And so pride and the shadow aspect, right? How pride might just show itself in the shadow is through fear of being insignificant or unworthy. So I went from the seven deadly sins to how the seven deadly sins might play out in the shadow, and then give some examples. So one of the seven deadly sins, which is pride, the shadow aspect might be fear of being insignificant or unworthy, right? Because it affects your pride. And examples are someone might secretly crave validation and overcompensate by always needing to be the center of attention, right? That's pride. Not necessarily pride, but that's what the example is. The second example is they might have trouble admitting mistakes or asking for help because it feels like a blow to their ego, right? So pride is direct to the ego. Then we have greed. And the shadow aspect of greed might be an underlying fear of scarcity or not having enough, right? So you might be greedy because, someone might hoard possessions or wealth because deep down they're afraid of losing security. Or they might struggle to share or feel envious of other success, even when they have plenty of themselves. And these are all signs of greed, perhaps. This is kind of super generic, right? Because it is ChatGPT, and ChatGPT is like about as generic as it gets. All right, but let's chug along. Anyway, actually, I might save this for a video. So after all of that, I went on to something else. So those are the seven deadly sins, but it didn't really accomplish what I was trying to accomplish, which is what the hell is my shadow, anyways? Because so we all have those seven deadly sins, but the seven deadly sins aren't really that vague. But at the same time, our behaviors can be vague and we get trapped. So we started a list of words here that set you into a particular perspective. And so remember, instead of evil, we use the word desire. And there's a list of words like that. So here we go. So there are words here that instead of the seven deadly sins are words that reflect back your shadow. And I'll give you the words and then I'll give you the definition and all that stuff. So I made a little list with ChatGPT, and some of them are desire, right? Anything you might repress or feel like you're giving into. You're not giving into anything, man. It's part of you. It's not giving in, it's integrated. And so desire is one, ambition is one, right? They hold back, people suppress their ambition, they suppress their desires. Control is one. They give over control to other people, or they might be control freaks inside, or they're looking for strong people who are in control. Insecurity is one of them, and resentment is one of them. There we go. I made a second list as well, but let's just flesh these out a little bit. So in your shadow, if you have one of your shadow characteristics are desire, right? One of the things you've repressed in life is your desire, whether you want to go after the girl or go after the guy, or whether you want to go after whatever it is that you want, whatever your passion is. And you've suppressed your passion or your desire for whatever reason. And remember, it is for whatever reason, right? It says, for the definition of desire is a longing or craving for something that may be hidden or unacknowledged. Right, man. A longing or desire, something that you want. Go for it, man. I don't know about you, but I don't have much life left. And I'm not getting reincarnated. So this is important to me. I need to break this right now. All right. Shadow relation to desire. Desire can represent unmet needs or suppressed wants that influence behavior from the background. So desire can represent unmet needs, right? So they're needs, man, or suppressed wants. Example, someone might chase after constant achievements, not just out of ambition, but because of a deep, unspoken desire for approval. All right, that one is stupid. So that one is stupid. All right, another one? They might find themselves, here we go. They might find themselves drawn towards certain relationships because of an unacknowledged desire for validation from a particular type of person, because you're suppressing your desire, right? So you want someone to validate that which you suppressed. Hey, Bubbles, what's up? I hope you're having an amazing day. Welcome back. You know, my sister's cat's name was Bubbles, right? All right. Hey, we're fleshing out this 7 deadly sins in a more colloquial language, and we're fleshing it out to help our shadow side identify our shadow so that we can overcome some of our shadow limitations. Why am I sitting like this, man? This is, I could just bring this close here. So here we go. So desire is one, right? We feel, we suppress it for whatever reason. Like, I guess we feel like we're not entitled, or we don't believe we can get it, or the person's out of our league. You know, there was a thing I was talking about Chat GP today with regards to desire, and that's oftentimes, I don't know about you guys, but you fall in love with your shadow. And like, I guess I have lofty ideas, or like, I figure my shadow is pretty heavy duty, man. So I tend to project a lot of I tend to project a lot onto the other person, and they don't usually, you know, for the most part, they don't really live up to my expectations, because I think I just project too much. I have to let people show me who they are and just accept them for who they are, and then move on, man. And then move on. Because, like, you know, there's no reason for any, you know, and just let people, you know, let people be who they are instead of wishing that they were someone else, right? That's the lesson for this half of the year, you know. It's letting people, it's just being happy for people being who they are, and remembering that they're not me, right? And they're not you. So Bubbles, when someone falls in love with you, they really falling in love with their own shadow. Like, you're representing or mirroring back part of their shadow that they really dig, man. So good luck. Or if anything I said made sense, whatever, man. So, so it's not fair when their shadow, which is all fucked up, like, when you're not as, so Bubbles, it's not fair when you're not as perverted or fucked up as the guy's shadow. Yeah, maybe that's why they keep calling the cops, man. I don't know, man. I don't know. All right, let's move on. So, yeah, I gotta say, I always thought your shadow was kind of sexy, though. Yeah, you could project your insecurities onto me anytime you want. Just hold on tight, because I'm a runner, baby. Remember, Bubbles? It's all about the chase. So when I count to 3, you open the door and let your boyfriend in. Yeah, I gotta run the fuck out the window. Oh my god! All right, everybody, relax. All right, everybody, relax. All right, next. Ambition is another one. So desire is definitely one that we suppress, right? We suppress our own desires, obviously. And then, like, we all do that one. And then, but that's an interesting one, because desire is getting the guy or getting the girl, right? And they like you because they're projecting onto you, and you like them because you're projecting onto them. Wow. That's pretty dirty, man. That's you guys are pretty dirty. Oh man. All right, next. Ambition. Is ambition part of the shadow? You guys hide your ambition? I don't hide my ambition. I just don't go after it. Well, when I was younger, I was went after quite a bit. And I'm about to go out. I'm in the process of doing this, which is pretty interesting. All right, ambition. Definition: a strong desire to achieve or succeed. Shadow relation. Ambition can turn into a shadow element if it leads to ruthless or cutthroat behavior. No, man, that's silly. That's silly. You want to be ruthless and cutthroat. That's what your shadow is all about. You're trying not to repress that. You're trying not to repress your ambition. And one of the problems is you probably repress it because it can be ruthless or cutthroat, is probably why you repress your ambition, in addition to a fear of success. So, anyways, we're going to keep going after it. All right, next, control. Hey, Cheryl, what's up? This wasn't just me, man. This was Daniela's idea. This is a TheSunnySide collab. Yeah, we're collabing, Cheryl. Hey, Zippity, what's up? I hope you're having an amazing day. All right, here we go. Let's keep going back at it. And you're welcome, Cheryl. So this is so I mentioned the 7 deadly sins, but we said desire. So now we're fleshing out a bunch of ideas around the concept of desire, because desire makes more sense, right? Because we're not going to be gluttonous. Just because we're not gluttonous doesn't mean we don't, so, all right, because these here aren't necessarily sins, right? These are just characteristics that hold you back. All right, next, control. Oh, yeah, control is a big one. Control, no control. Definition: a need to direct or manage situations and people. Yeah, control is a tough one, man. We're all kind of control freaks to some extent because there's security in control, right? Like, it's not just control. It's like, it's that it doesn't change. So it's tricky. The shadow relation says control can be a shadow aspect when it stems from underlying fears or insecurity. Obviously. Now, control is a tricky one because control is all over the place, right? We feel controlled by others in so many different ways, and we want to control the outcome of ourselves and others in so many different ways. And remember, as you become more and more congruent as an empath, the idea of control should fade away. See, the idea of control is from an incongruent empath, right? You're trying to reach out and control. Like, congruent empath who's sovereign doesn't reach out. Like, they're selectively empathic, right? So they don't try and control everything, and they don't let anything control them, or they selectively control others, and they selectively let other people control, because that's what being congruent as an empath is. You do your thing. Now, and so that's the deal. that's the deal, man. And so that's the deal. The more congruent you are, the less you're going to want to control the outcome, because you're going to start to see all these patterns, because you already see the patterns, man. You're empaths. You already see the patterns. It's just a matter of not letting the patterns control you. That's all it's all about. Once you stop letting the patterns control you, and you stop, and like, instead of letting the patterns play themselves out and you become a part of the drama, you shut it down at the beginning so that you don't become part of the drama, because it's going to happen anyways. You guys already know this, man. You can't stop Buddy from being a jackass no matter what. So all you can do is kind of sit there and like mop shit up. like seriously, we're all adults. We know our buddy's gonna go do something stupid. I might be that buddy who's about to go do something stupid, man. And we all know if I'm gonna go do something stupid, it's gonna be pretty fucking stupid. And I'm doing it anyways. And I'm dragging you motherfuckers along with me. So hang out. So like, just sit back and enjoy the ride. So you can sit back and enjoy the ride, but you don't have to dig in for the journey, right? Just sit back. So you guys just sit back and enjoy the ride. And then it's going to not lock you up. It's going to, remember, it's not about the ego getting bigger. This is one of the first things I noticed. It's not about the ego getting bigger, which is incredible in my case, because that's what I'm all about. So instead of the ego getting, it didn't get bigger, it shrunk in like this, and my ego became stronger, meaning it's not trying to impress these guys anymore. It's coming in here where like I'm impressing myself and like fuck everybody. You're going to have to look in to see it now. It's stronger and it's less affected by others. And so that's the idea. Toughening up, shrinking in the ego, toughening it up so that it's not affected by others, right? Including yourself. And so that's the deal. It's not that easy to do, and you have to continue growing into it. And I don't really know what's supposed to happen on the other side, but that's where we are right now. All right, next. So this is week 2. All right. I can't remember. This is the end of week 2, I think, or the end of week 1, the beginning of week 2, maybe. And we've done a lot. We quit drinking alcohol. We quit drinking. We changed our goals. We're getting ready for the end of the year of the snake. We're continuing to shed our skin, and we're getting ready for the year of the horse. And we're doing this extremely quickly now, and we're getting it done. All right, so let's do this shadow. Let's integrate our shadows, man. Next, so control issues are a big deal. Like that's part of the deal. And control issues show up in so many places in life. And everybody is all of us, right? Whether you're congruent or incongruent, we're all super sensitive. Like us, like the Sunny-Siders, we're all super sensitive to control things. And like I freak out constantly. And you see me freak out constantly because I have difficulty with the control triggers. Like gaslighting stresses me out, right? Because it's affecting control stuff. All right, next. So that's one of the ones, control issues. Right. And control issues often leads to addictions, like eating addictions. And whether you overeat or undereat, that's usually a control issue, or drinking can be control. Some drugs can be control. So like control issue is part of the shadow, man. All right, next. Insecurity is one of them. I wonder how that works out. So insecurity. Well, I guess insecurity holds you back. All right, insecurity holds you back. It says the definition, feelings of self-doubt or not being good enough. Oh, I have this one, man. I have feelings of not being good enough all the time. For a grandiose narcissist, oh yeah, fuck, I have feelings of not being good enough all the time. So insecurity, feelings or doubt of not being good enough. And I always kind of felt that it doesn't matter because like they're not going to pick me anyways. So I spent all of 2025 realizing that it doesn't matter because they're not nobody's coming anyways, which is okay. They say one of the things in a man's life when he realizes that like there's absolutely nobody out there, that's when things start to change. And I realized that it like was drummed right into my skull for an entire year. There's nobody out there. There's literally no one coming. And it doesn't really matter anymore, man. Because I really got to get my golfing done. I got to work on my boxing footwork, and I have to work on my golfing swing. All right. I have a lot of work to do this summer. All right, insecurity. So there's insecurity. Insecurity in the shadow can lead to overcompensation or self-sabotage. Oh yeah, I overcompensate with language all the time, right? I over-explain things and self-sabotage myself. Well, I have difficulty finishing projects. Right. Examples, they might put on a facade of confidence while secretly feeling inadequate. All right, man, I do. Sure, why not? In certain situations, although these days I'm feeling quite more confident because, let's move on. Next, they might avoid taking risks, right? If you have insecurity issues or pursuing dreams because deep down they fear that they'll fail. Well, insecurity, right? You're afraid you're gonna succeed. You're afraid that you're gonna fail. Remember, I went on and talked to ChatGPT about all of this with regards to relationships and dating. And one of the things is like people get pulled out of their comfort zone. Like that's a really nice way to say, we project our insecurities onto others. And like we think, We have false assumptions of people. As a guy, it's really easy to put a woman on a pedestal. Like, it's so easy for a guy to put a woman on a pedestal. But the reality is, I've only met like a couple of girls who really deserve to be put on a pedestal, man, honestly. And obviously, I've mentioned some of them in the past. All right, so insecurity is one of them. Another one is resentment. This is interesting, but this is true as well. Resentment, right? I was leaking resentment like crazy in the last couple of years about my first wife and my son and all of that. But like, I'm not worried about it anymore. I wish them the best as far away from me as possible. I'm not interested anymore. I wish them the best. The definition of resentment, well, thanks, Bubbles. That's really sweet. That's really sweet, Bubbles. Oh, man. All right, resentment, lingering bitterness or anger towards something or something. I was angry with my first wife and the changed my kid's name thing and all of this, like them staying away from me and all this kind of stuff. I was really upset for years and years and years until like a couple of weeks ago in December when my friend was here. I really vented it out and I got it out of me. And like, I don't want it. I don't want that pain in me anymore. So whatever they caused or whatever I caused or whatever strife was between that happened, I don't want it anymore. Right? Remember, this started off with my trip to the Buddhist place and talking to them about suffering. And if those guys want, I'm not going to suffer because of those guys. They have nothing to offer me in any way, shape, or form. So there's no reason to suffer, man. I don't have to go there and bring that shit in because, like, fuck, the damage is already done. Fuck it. And I'm not into building bridges right now. I'm into, like, healing my shadow or integrating my shadow. So, like, I'm not reaching for misery to bring it in here. I don't give a fuck, man. That's not my problem. It's not my problem, man. I'm congruent. I'm becoming sovereign. That's not my problem. So goodbye. So, I was upset about it for a long time. Even until recently, I was quite emotional about it. But it's about healing these wounds where you leak emotionally. And that was one of the major wounds that I had in life. And it was very much part of my shadow. And it really affected my self esteem because there's a lot associated with it. And I was leaking quite visibly emotionally. But you know what? Not anymore, man. I don't care. I don't really care. It's not my problem, man. So, like, really, maybe at one time it was, but not anymore. Remember, one of the things about really becoming a man and awakening as a man is to realize that there's like no one there. There's absolutely no one. There's no one for me to impress. There's no one for me to seek validation from. There's no one there's no one to tap me on the shoulder and say, "Good job, Sonny." And there's definitely no one around to say, "Hey, you fucked that up pretty good this time." There's nobody here to say that. It's just me, man. And I, as part of my process in the next couple of weeks, I have to get used to the silence, right? I stopped drinking to kill the noise, right? Drinking was quieting the noise, and I stopped that. So now I have to become comfortable with the noise. Sorry, I have to be comfortable with the quiet so that I can hear again. And once I can hear again, like once I can hear the universe again, once I can hear the song of angels, once I can hear the universe speaking to me again, then like maybe we'll be ready to like do some shit again, man. Anyways, I have 4 weeks to do this. And that's what I'm doing right now. And I really don't know what the fuck I'm doing. And ChatGPT is not really helping that much. But like I am grateful for it. All right. Now, in addition to that, whoops. So in addition to that, we went on. Oh man, they didn't do this in point form. All right. So what happened was I asked ChatGPT to repeat it to me constantly. Not like 5 times, and then change some of the words from desire to other ones. Thanks, Bubbles. I super appreciate it. It's weird, Bubbles. My sister's. It wasn't only that my sister's. It wasn't only that my sister's cat was named Bubbles. I think Bubbles is dead, which is kind of weird. But like, I gotta say, I think I know I'm getting weird. I know I'm getting weird. But there was a time that I thought that I was dead, and you guys are all psychic, and that actually made a lot of sense. It made sense that I had died. It actually made sense that I had died, and I'm just haunting this house and the internet, and you guys are all psychic. That actually made sense for a while. But I have a feeling now some of you guys might be dead. Oh no, I'm just being silly, man. Thanks, Bubbles. Hey Dave, what's up? All right, here we go, man. So desire, right, can relate to the shadow by representing hidden longings that we might not always acknowledge. Bubbles, it's okay. It's okay. I'm a friendly ghost. I'm a friendly ghost. Yeah. If you're so like Sonny, if you're such a friendly ghost, how come you always leave water on the floor when you come by? I get nervous in ghost form, man. I get nervous when I'm in ghost form. I get nervous. I don't mean to leave the water on the floor. I'm a nervous ghost. Yeah. What? What? It's not like I sat on the couch. Everybody relax. I'll go stand by the plant. I'll go next time I visit, I'll haunt the plant in the corner. Okay. I'll go stand in the plant. Oh man. Oh shit, there's water on the floor. Sonny was haunting us again. he gets nervous. All right, next. What time is it? I've got 10 more minutes of this stuff. Okay, so for desire, a new example could be secretly craving a type of recognition that you don't let yourself admit. All right, man. All right. All right, whatever. Well, desire, man, it's going after what you want. And for ambition, well, ambition is what you feel you deserve, sort of, right? Not really, but sort of. I'm still thinking about projecting onto the girl, okay? In my brain, I'm still thinking about my shadow side projects onto the girl, and it's not fair for me to project onto the girl. And sometimes, a lot of the time, I project onto the girl, and my shadow makes me think that she's out of my league. For real, man. Do you really think that, Sonny? So yeah, I really do. Really, yeah, I really do. I really do. And then something inevitably comes up, and I'm like, how could it be? I would be. This would be so much. Next. Oh man. But that's what happens. Dave, does that ever happen to you, man? Do you project onto the girl that like she's so awesome, and then sometimes it deters you, and then you're like, you find out she's like, what the fuck was I thinking, man? Seriously, man. Actually, with most guys, they don't get to the what the fuck was I thinking part. That's something most guys don't get that, right? Most guys are like, what the fuck was I thinking? And they're still interested. Like it's really funny. Most guys are really they like this kind of fucked up. All right, so a type of ambition and a type of lack of confidence can all play together. All right, next. So more shadow related words are control. Control is a shadow related word, but let's leave that alone because we all know what control issues are. We feel control issues, right? Like we feel it right away, whether like we all do, right? Again, everyone on this channel is an empath, and like we all feel the we all feel control issues, whether we know what it is or not. I believe the one thing that I believe in all of these words that that we're coming up with, I feel that the control issue, however it manifests, I believe that that's our number one thing that we kind of go like this against. Like we kind of I think control is the number one thing that we all feel at the very basic level, and I think we feel it right away. I think that's the one we feel. But that's the one that comes in so many different ways, it's tough to see. But that's the one I think we feel. Whether someone is going to take your control away, you're going to give your control to someone, whether your control protects you. Remember, we fall in love, with things that we're afraid of as well, right? Like we're afraid and we're in love. Like that, I'm so in love with that guy, I'm afraid to even acknowledge it, right? Like that's part of it. Or like I projected so much onto this girl. She represents so much of my shadow that I'm afraid to talk to this girl, right? Like that's the deal. So, well, I'm not, but like that's how it gets. So there's no pressure or no rush, right, man? Like there's nothing like that. Hey, Eleni, we're gonna go in about 5 minutes. We guessed the cards on the horoscopes. Oh shit, it's on the horoscopes. All right, next. Dave, really? All right, so there we go. So there we go. And I'm looking at shadows in relationships because I don't want to fuck up any more relationships. I've been divorced like 2.5 times. Gets expensive, man. My next divorce is gonna bury me. Fuck. All right, next. Next. So control issues are one that we have to recognize. And then I went in and I dove into the concept of desire because I was trying to figure it out. Because I'm into like, if you dig the chick, you desire something, what's the problem? But the problem is we have to overcome our own shadow. That's the moon card in the tarot, by the way. When you see the crustacean, right, the crab or the lobster, the crustacean leaving the water along the path, that's the fox and the hound represent your fears. That's your shadow side. The moon card in tarot is overcoming your shadow side so that you can be reborn. And the two pillars and the moon represent the view from inside the birth canal, being reborn into the next card, which is the sun card, which is literally coming out into the light. So the moon card represents overcoming your shadow. All right, next. So desire. So now that we know, we project the thing we like in the girl or what we like most in the guy is part of us. Whether it's a repressed part of us, like whether the guy is so successful, I really wish I could be like that if I wasn't, or whether you think the guy's good looking or you think whatever, or whether you think the girl is like super hot or like whatever, or you like her as like a person, which is kind of whatever. But like, or she's fun or cool chick or whatever. So like those are all reflections of your shadow, man. We fall in love with that reflected back in us, which is kind of interesting, man. So with passion or desire, so one common way that a desire might slip into your shadow is if growing up at some point in your life, you got the message that wanting a certain thing was not okay, right? Your desire was not okay. So you started to repress it. Maybe you were told it's selfish to want attention and that it's wrong to want recognition, right? So over time, as an example, that desire doesn't disappear, it just goes underground, it's repressed. And as for integrating it, ChatGPT says just acknowledging it is going to help you integrate it, but I don't really think that's how it works. I'm into deep trance therapy, so unless you acknowledge it in a deep trance, I'm not convinced it's going to happen. All right, next. So these are things that have been repressed because at some time in your life you were told that it was not a good idea to pursue these kind of things. Right? Over time, it gets tucked away into the shadows. And so it's like the desire to go after what you really want just sort of goes underground because it doesn't feel fully acceptable to acknowledge it, right? And to integrate it is really to just about allowing yourself to recognize, hey, it's okay to have those desires, right? It's okay to like the girl. It's okay to like the girl. It's not okay to get sucked into the girl. Remember, we're sovereign, we're congruent empaths. If you're incongruent, you're gonna like the girl. You're gonna like the girl anyways because it's your shadow. So you're gonna like, it's nothing wrong with liking the girl. What's wrong is getting sucked into that kind of drama, because that's not real love. That's getting sucked into your shadow. It's okay to like the girl, but you got to stay sovereign, man. And that's the way it is. And that's just the way it is, man. That's the difference between an empath who's healed and awakening and an incongruent empath who is emotionally slutty, man. Anyways, that's the deal. We're gonna have to get out of here. It's midnight. I gotta book out and go do my thing, man. All right. Any questions before we hit the boogie, man? Is everybody cool? Is everybody doing their thing? I'm glad we got a chance to talk. Do our thing, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk, do our thing. Everybody's really cool. And that's it, man. I hope everybody is awesome, possum. All right, guys, let's get out of here. And with that, from TheSunnySide.net, I'm Sonny. I guess I'll make these into videos, right? What did they tell me not to do? You're not going to believe it, man. My dad said, so I went back to university and I was an economics major for a couple of years. And I was going to go work at the bank. And I actually did work at the bank for a while, just short time when I left school. But my dad said he was disappointed. He didn't want me working at the bank. He said he worked really hard and he excelled at the bank, but he wanted me to go into the arts. He wanted me. He was proud of me as a musician, and he told me he didn't. He said I worked really hard so that you could go study music and you could go do this hypnosis stuff. So go do it. I support you 100%. Go do it. And so that's why I don't work at the bank, man. That's why I live my life as a broke ass. That's why I live my life as a broke ass musician, man. But I was able to, he left me a lot. So I appreciate the opportunity that he gave. I appreciate the opportunity that my parents gave me in life. And much of this empathic awakening I'm going through has to do with all the trauma they put me through. So on one hand is, everything is cool, man. There's no reason to get excited, man. Anyways, thanks, guys. I super appreciate it. All right, let me get out of here with thanks, Dave. That's really sweet. From TheSunnySide.net, I'm Sonny. Hey, wait, Dave, you forgot pothead. You forgot. You forgot. I was a pothead reindeer for a couple of weeks every year. I turned into a pothead reindeer. All right, man. Everybody chill out. From TheSunnySide.net, I'm Sonny. We should everyone the best of an amazing day, man. Good luck, guys. And I'll see you guys soon. Oh, man. Sonny the pothead reindeer had a very smoky. Okay, everybody be cool. I'll see you later.